Good morning, YouTube. My name is Vince, and welcome back to my channel, Fern Valley Farmer. On this channel, we are pure country. Alrighty, we are making sugar syrup. This is more of a this will go into my beginner beekeeping thing. Excuse me. Sugar syrup. It's that time of year. It's mid-August. Actually, it's almost like the third week of August now. We've been in a dearth. We'll be coming out of that kind of soon because it's been raining now, fortunately. We were pretty dry for a while. It's starting to rain a little bit. The goldenrod's going to start blooming. But the bees need to be fed. And you can kind of tell when the bees need to be fed. If you actually do feed them and they drink it right down, that means they need it. You put it in there and they don't drink it, then they're okay. Right now I've been feeding. You can see some of my other videos I did where I started feeding a little bit. I've got a couple of hives out there that are big and strong. One is taking the syrup down, one isn't. This time of year, you want to do a 2-to-1. The 2-to-1 syrup mimics honey, a nectar, I should say. If you feed them and they're drinking it, feed them again. If you feed them and they're not drinking it, then they don't need it. They prefer Mother Nature nectar over sugar syrup. So I'm doing it. One of them needs it, one of them doesn't, but they're drinking a little bit of it, if you understand what I mean. So if they need it, they'll take it. If they don't need it, it'll just sit there, and that's fine. But don't let it sit too long because it can kind of ferment a little bit, or bugs will get in there. But it's that time of year, 2-to-1 sugar syrup. When you get in the fall, after the goldenrod is done, you're going to want to feed because you want your bees to build up their stores for winter. We took all their honey away. It's like I said, here in northern Illinois, it's about the third week of August, so we took the honey away, but there's still going to be plenty of time for them to bring in Mother Nature's natural nectar, which is goldenrod. That's coming. It's starting to bloom, actually. I'll do a video on that. So this is really simple. Making 2-to-1 sugar syrup. I'm only going to feed them a little bit. And like I said, once the goldenrod starts, I'll back off, let them fill up on their own. And then when you get in the fall, when it's all done, you pretty much keep feeding them until they stop taking it. You'll know when they're pretty much full. Like last year, some of my hives, I gave 5 gallons total. And when they fill all them frames up with all that sugar syrup, you could feel the weight in those boxes. When they started slowing down, not taking it as much, and then when they pretty much stopped, I was done. This year, I'm going to limit it to about 5 gallons. I'm sorry. I'm going to limit it to a few gallons to see how it does. And actually, I'm going to do things a little bit different this fall. I'm going to let them bring Mother Nature's nectar in, all through September, see what happens. Then in October, it's still kind of warm out. Then I'll feed them again, see how it goes. So, like I said, with beekeeping, you can't say this is how I'm going to do it because it changes. You can't say today I'm doing this because you'll go out there to do something and be like, oh, I can't do that today. Now my nuke, hopefully you've seen that video. They're drinking it. They're just taking it right down because I had to catch that swarm, put them in the nuke box. I took away their frames that they had nectar in, so now they got to restore it. They're drinking it down pretty good. So anyways, this is really simple. 2-to-1 sugar syrup. Some people weigh it. I just do it by this bag of sugar. This is a 10-pound bag of sugar, okay? I'm going to dump that into here. I'm assuming it's going to fill this up. If it's not, you'll see it. So if this bag fills this container up full of sugar, half water. That's simple. Some people weigh it and do it that way. I don't do it that way. I just go, so basically 1 cup of water, 2 cups of sugar. There's your 2-to-1. 4 cups of sugar, 2 cups of water. There's your basic math right there. So anyway, let's get started here. So I am going to dump this in, and I can't remember this container. You see this line I got on there? I just use this container. That's 4 pounds of sugar. So when I make 1-to-1 syrup, 4 pounds of sugar, 4 pounds of sugar, and I just fill that line up with water. That's 1-to-1. The other day I did a 4-pound bag. You could buy these like at Walmart, 4-pound, 10-pound, then the big 25-pound bag. So when I've been making this for 1-to-1, I just do 1 4-pound bag of sugar, 1 thing of water. I made one the other day, 4 pounds of sugar, this line right there, that's half the water. So let's go ahead and do this without getting the sugar all over the place here. Every time you open these bags, it falls out. So I'm going to pour all this into here, which I'm assuming is going to go right to the top. And it's not. Okay, different game plan. I'm going to take this sugar and I'm going to just fill it up to this line right here, which I believe is 1 gallon. So let's just redo this. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it here. I don't have a big one. I actually have this written down, how much water for 10 pounds of sugar. But like I said, this isn't rocket scientist. 1 cup of sugar, half a cup of water. 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water, 2 to 1. So I'm going to fill this to that 1 pound line. And this will be enough to get me started. I got one hive that I just checked it this morning and it's empty. Almost. And then I'll just make the rest of this after. But I want to get this made because I want to get this out and let it cool. It takes a little while to cool off. You don't have to be precise. You don't got to be right on the money. Sorry about that. The dogs are trying to attack the guy jogging down the street. My little Chihuahua thinks he's really tough. My German Shepherd, she is tough. Anyways, back to the video. Okay, what I'm gonna do too, actually I have a marker. I'll use this. These plastic containers come in handy, just for quick references. So even though it says 1 gallon, I just put the line on there. So okay, I am going to, since I know what this is going to do, I'm going to dump this. I thought it would all fit, so I'm going to dump it back in, obviously. So I got to do the water first. I thought this would all fit. So I'm just going to fill this halfway with water. This sugar out of here. Okay, I think what I was saying was you don't have to be right on the money. You don't got to be exact. As long as you're really close, that's fine. All right, there's a half a gallon of water. This doesn't take too long to boil. We'll let that boil. Turn it on high, let it boil. And we'll dump the sugar. We'll see how much it makes. All right, the water is just about boiling. I paused for a minute. I didn't think you guys wanted to sit here and watch water boil. You can see it steaming. Like I said, this is really, really simple. You could do this with cold water too. You just got to keep stirring it. It takes a while for it to dissolve. I like using the hot water. All right, we're going to fill this up to the 1 pound or to the 1 gallon line, and I'll finish the rest of this later. Whatever's left in this bag. And I can't remember how much this makes. I have it all written down. I have to go look. So when we're done here, once it cools a little bit, I'll put it in a gallon jug and we'll see. I want to say this makes 1.5 gallons of syrup, I think. And you can keep it in the refrigerator. If you let it sit out, it might mold. And sometimes even in the refrigerator, I just save our old plastic milk cartons here. Bring this over here. Let's see if I can get this raised up a little bit. Take it, dump it in. Obviously, there's a little bit of sugar in here, so I just take some water, rinse the sugar out. And I got a big long spoon here. You probably can't see it in the pot. I can turn this off now. Just stir it. I stir it occasionally. It'll turn crystal clear. I don't know if you can see this or not. It'll turn crystal clear once it totally dissolves. All right, so let me take this camera back here. I'll pull it off the stove. You can see it's getting clear already. I'll just stir it. The hotter the water, the quicker it dissolves. Now, the hotter the water, the quicker it dissolves. But there, see, it's pretty much dissolved already. You can see here. So anyway, now let this cool. We will put it in a, I think this makes 1.5 gallons. I don't remember, but I'll show you how much it makes once it cools, because I'm going to get some out. My one hive, I want to get some feed out there to them, so I wanted to get this made early. So we'll let this cool, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. It's basically cool. I am going to put this. This stuff is really sticky when you make this. I looked it up from last year. 10 gallons of, or I'm sorry, 10 pounds of sugar will make 1.5 gallons of syrup, 2 to 1. Excuse me. So 10 pounds of sugar will make 1.5 gallons of 2 to 1 syrup. So you think I could put this in here without spilling it? Actually, I've got a better idea. Ask me how I know it spills. We're going to do it this way instead. I'm going to put this in here. Ready? 1, 2. We're going to start out this way first. Yeah, this stuff is really sticky. All right, now let's do it this way. A lot less mess. See? Okay, okay, okay. Lift the funnel up a little bit so some air can get in there. It's still a little warm. I'll let it cool off before I put it out in the hive. It won't take that long. So, put that there. You want to wipe this stuff up right away. If not, it's sticky. Let me get some water here. What I started to say earlier, you can take this, put it in the refrigerator. If you're going to use it right away, you don't have to. If you notice any black spots, let me see. I think I got one here. Let me get this wiped up really fast. I save all my milk jugs. Obviously, you get 1 gallon of milk, you save it. See all these little, see inside the carton, it's black? That's mold. I've tried so many different ways to prevent that. It just happens. And it's not that big of a deal. Because obviously it's just for the bees, and the bees don't care. It don't hurt them. But the container, even though it gets in the refrigerator, if you had a way you can get in there and wipe it out, see, it doesn't smell. If you had a way to get in there and wipe it out, you can. It's just going to happen. Even though it's in the refrigerator, keeping it cool, it still molds a little bit, and sometimes it doesn't. So I don't worry about it. I've never had any issues with it. Some of it molds, sometimes it don't. So if you see that, don't worry about it. I use it up fast enough. Now, if you let it sit for months, I'm not sure what could happen, but obviously you don't want to do that. So, all right, let me finish. Let's pour this into here. I was just going to say, wait a minute. 10 pounds makes 1.5 gallons, and I don't even have 1 gallon here, but I forgot. I didn't do the whole bag. I'm going to finish. I'm probably going to wait on that because I don't want to just keep dumping a bunch of sugar syrup out there if they're not drinking it. I had a really bad problem this year. I'm going to rinse it. A lot of times I'll take the pot too, and I'll just run a little water through it. I just run a little bit of water through just to wash it out. I don't do too much because I don't want diluted, obviously. So I'm not going to put a ton of it out there. If they were drinking it pretty regularly, that's a different story. I had a really bad problem, and I did a video on that. Hopefully you've seen it, on picnic bugs. I had some of my hives, I was feeding them 1-to-1 to get some of my girls to draw out comb, and they were, but a couple was really weird. One hive would have it, one wouldn't. Some were just loaded with picnic bugs. It was just gross. And the bees it doesn't hurt anything. And some of the picnic bugs were getting in the hive, but not many because they couldn't get past the feeder. And my sugar syrup was just loaded with them, so I dumped it out. Obviously, I just dumped it out. I stopped feeding it to them. It's cooling off a little bit now. I'm not sure how long picnic bug season lasts, but I didn't want to do that. So anyway, my battery's about to die. You think I would have changed this battery? So here, let's finish filling this. And obviously that's not gonna, we're gonna do this. We'll just dump the rest of it in here. Saving your old milk cartons kind of come in handy. There. That's it. There is your 2-to-1 syrup. Like I said, I'm not going to make the rest of it right now. If they really start guzzling this, then I'll finish it. I don't want to leave it. I don't want to leave a ton of syrup out in the feeders, like I said, because of the picnic bugs. So I'm just going to feed this right now. Some of the hives are drinking, some aren't. So my nuke is drinking it pretty well, so I'm going to need it for that. But anyways, that's my story. That's how you make 2-to-1 sugar syrup. Feed your bees in the fall. I'll do another video on this as we really get into fall after the goldenrod is done. I'll do a video on the goldenrod, show you what that is. You've all seen it. It's everywhere. And it's funny, I never knew what goldenrod was until I got into this. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. People call it a weed. You know what the definition of a weed is? A weed is the definition of weed means a plant that's not growing in the correct spot. That's what a weed is. So they're actually all flowers, but if they're not growing where they're supposed to be, that's what they call a weed. So anyway, before my battery dies, hopefully you like this video. Any questions, comments, please leave them. Consider subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. Hit that little button right there, subscribe. If you do subscribe, there's a little bell next to the subscribe button. Hit that bell. You'll get a notification every time one of these videos comes out. I really appreciate you watching my videos. Any questions, let me know. And YouTube, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.